Welcome to the Spectrum DX3 Complete Operational Guide. We'll be going over everything that's included in the DX3 manual, as well as some programming for the Channel 3 operation. On the bottom of the transmitter is the battery compartment. Inside the compartment, there is a positive and negative marking to show the battery orientation. To power on the DX3, we will quick press the power button. To power off the DX3, we will hold the power button for 3 to 5 seconds. With the DX3 facing you, if we turn the wheel to the left, the vehicle will steer left. If we turn right, the vehicle will steer right. By pulling back on the trigger, this will cause the vehicle to go forward. If we push the trigger forward, this will cause the vehicle's brakes to engage. We will then need to go back to neutral and push trigger back forward to cause the vehicle to go in reverse. The AVC/ST rate dial will adjust the AVC gains or the steering rate gains depending on the receiver you are using. Using the AVC rate dial, we can adjust how much or how little the AVC auto adjusts the correction. If we are using a non-AVC receiver, then this will be your steering rate dial. By lowering this, you will decrease the steering radius of the vehicle. By raising this, you will increase the steering radius of the vehicle. The brake rate dial can also be the reverse rate dial. If you have a vehicle that can go in reverse and we lower this dial, then not only will your brakes decrease, but your reverse percentage will decrease. If we turn this dial up, then we can increase the brakes and the reverse. The ST dial is the steering trim. If the vehicle is turning to one side on its own, you can rotate the dial the opposite direction until the wheels are pointing forward. The TH dial is the ESC trim. If the vehicle is going forwards or backwards on its own, adjust this dial until the vehicle is back in neutral. The ST-R switch is the servo reversing switch. This will allow you to flip the servo direction if the steering wheel and servo are operating in the opposite direction. The TH-R switch is the ESC reversing switch. This will allow you to flip the ESC direction if the vehicle is going in the opposite direction of the trigger movement. The TH limit switch is the throttle limit switch. This will allow you to select 50, 75, or 100% throttle. This is good to use in learning a vehicle or helping others understand a vehicle before going to full throttle. The smart battery level has 4 LEDs: 100%, 75%, 50%, 25%, and blinking if below 25%. First, refer to the vehicle manual to start the vehicle bind. Once the vehicle is in bind mode, we can then hold the bind button, hold the power button until the power light turns on. We can then release the power button. Once the transmitter beeps, we can then release the bind button. To make any endpoint adjustments to the steering or the throttle, we will hold full brake and full right wheel while powering it on. When this is done, you will see the power LED flash blue. With the transmitter in the endpoint programming, we can now power on the vehicle. To adjust the steering endpoint, we will then turn and hold the steering wheel to full left and turn the steering rate knob to the desired endpoint. You can then also adjust the right steering to the desired endpoint. To adjust the ESC or throttle and brake endpoints, you need to make sure the throttle limit switch is set to 100. We will then hold the trigger at full throttle and turn the brake rate knob to the desired endpoint. You can then adjust the reverse by holding the trigger at full reverse and adjusting the brake rate knob to the desired position. With the endpoints set properly to your liking, we can then power off the vehicle and then power off the transmitter to save the settings. The Channel 3 A and B button can be used as a 5-position latching mode. To enter the programming mode, we will hold full reverse, full right, bind button, and power on all at the same time. You will then see the LED start to flash purple. We can now power on the vehicle. Press the A button for the 5-position latching mode. We will now use the ST rate dial to rotate to your desired position for that choice of movement. Press the bind button to save. You will then rotate the ST rate dial to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions as of your choosing. Once the 5th position has been saved, the transmitter will power itself off. You can make the 5-position latching mode a 2 2, 3, or 4 position by powering off the transmitter after you have set your choice of movement. The DX3 Smart LED brightness can be adjusted by holding full reverse the A button and powering on. Once it is on, then use the A or B button to lower or raise the brightness. When set to the brightness that you want, power off the DX3. If you ever need to do a factory reset on your DX3, you can do this by holding the steering wheel to full left, the trigger to full brake, and power on the transmitter. It will then do a full cycle and reset. This completes the Spectrum DX3 Complete Operational Guide, and we thank you for watching.